What's up, guys? You're listening to another episode of Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. The time to start your own business was yesterday. I wanted to take some time today on the podcast to give you a little bit of a wake-up call. Now, I'm going to get on you a little bit, but honestly, I just want to keep it real for you today. I just want to do a real talk episode. And this episode idea was actually sparked with a conversation from my student success manager, Samantha. I was talking to her about how can we help more people, right? How can we help our students be better? How can we encourage people to go after this, right? To start their business, to chase their dreams. And I struggle personally with imposter syndrome. As a content creator, online coach, gosh, we get such a bad rap. And I understand why. It's because there's a lot of bad eggs out there. There's a lot of people out there that are slinging courses and programs and mentorships and automation and stuff. And all they really care about is what's in it for them. And you can sniff that out. Or at least I feel like I can. I can really sniff out from my competitors, right, in the Amazon coaching space. I can really sniff out who genuinely care about their students and, wanting others to be successful, and the people who literally are just trying to make money. All they care about is just trying to make more money. And they don't care. They could care less about whether their students are actually successful or not. And you can see a lot of that in other coaches and things based on, how they structure their returns or guarantees and things like that. And you're like, it's a little fishy, or just like by their messaging. And I don't know, it's just a big turnoff. So that, unfortunately, it leads to the industry of coaching and mentorship and gurus. Gosh, I freaking hate that word. Getting such a bad reputation, which leads me to suffer from imposter syndrome, which leads that little voice in the back of my head saying, are you a poser? It's just that doubt of, are you really good enough to be doing this, to be telling people how to start a brand, a business? Are you good enough to be talking about this? Are you really qualified to be teaching other people about this? Why should other people listen to you? Like, there's other people who are selling a whole lot more on Amazon than you sell on Amazon. Why are you coaching people? So that's what I suffer with on a daily basis doing this, is just really doubting whether or not I'm qualified or I should be doing this. And so in talking to Samantha about this, she gave me like a little bit of a motivational pep talk. She doubles as my personal therapist, online business therapist. Gave me a little pep talk and said, what you're doing works. Like what we're teaching people, what I'm teaching people, right, how to do, it works. You're proving it with your own brand, meaning me, us, Remy and Rue. We're proving it with our own brand. It's not like I'm just regurgitating information that I'm reading on the internet and trying to sell it as a course to make money. I'm actually running a brand. We are actually doing this. We've been doing it for years now. I am practicing what I'm preaching to you guys, right, in my podcast and in my programs and things. So not only that, from our standpoint, we know it works, but also from our students. Gosh, there are dozens, if not hundreds of students now. I wish I could keep tabs on all of them. It's so hard to. I don't know unless you guys message me, right? But I'd like to believe that there's hundreds of people out there who have followed our strategies and what I've taught, who are finding success, who are starting brands, who are getting sales, who are making money. And so it's a good reminder that not everyone is going to be massively successful. And I think that's a huge fear that I have. Again, one of my reservations with doing this is I fear should I really be trying to sell, ebooks and courses and coaching programs to people when maybe deep down I know a percentage of these people are not going to be successful. So it causes me again to doubt my own, intentions with trying to help others, because I just know that there are a lot of people out there who are not going to make it. But then that again kind of sparked the idea behind this episode of the time to start your own business was yesterday. Now, I don't want that to scare you into thinking it's too late. Like, it's not too late to get started today, but the time to start your own business was yesterday. We're seeing the current state of the world, the current state of the economy, and let's be honest, in uncertainty. That is the best word that I could use to describe the state of the economy. Uncertainty. We just really don't know. Like, you can read articles all day long. If you go Google, you'll find whatever you want to find. If you want to go Google that we're going to head to a recession, you'll find articles that say we're headed to a recession. If you want to go find articles that say we are not going to have a recession, you will find those articles. If you want to find articles that housing markets are improving, you'll find them. If you want to find articles that the housing market is going to keep getting worse, you'll find them. That is what is so frustrating about the internet. You will find whatever you want to find. I see this all the time with health. dieting, fitness, that sphere, because I'm interested in my health and fitness and that. And it's so frustrating because if you go searching for are carbs bad, you will find articles that say carbs are bad. You will also find articles or YouTube videos, content, right? We'll just say content. You'll also find content that says carbs are good. You will find content that says keto is good. You'll find content that says keto is bad. You'll find content that says vegan diet is the way to go. You'll also find content that says vegan diet is horrible. You'll find anything you want to find. So it's so hard to know where the actual truth is. Like, what is actual reality? And it's even getting scarier with the whole AI thing, right? That's starting to take off. I can't even fathom what life and society and the internet and communication is going to be like 10 years from now. I honestly can't comprehend. Looking at how powerful AI is right now with, even getting into like audio, video generation, deep fakes, voice replication, like it's freaky. It's going to be so hard to know 10 years from now. Gosh, probably even probably 5 years from now, 3 years from now. It's going to be so hard to know scrolling on social media apps what's real and what's fake. It's going to be so hard. Like Gary Vee said, he actually posted a recent video about this same topic. I think human beings are resilient and we'll figure it out. Like we'll evolve to know to how to process all these, changes and things with technology, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be uncertain. And the same thing goes for the economy. The same thing goes with your job. The same thing goes with your salary. The same thing goes with inflation. There's so many uncertainties with the economy, with the stock market, with your 401k, with your job, with your career. Like, gosh, that's another topic altogether is your career even going to exist 10 years from now? Like you see kids who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to law school to be a lawyer. Are there going to be lawyers 10 years from now? Will we really need lawyers? Or can artificial intelligence do case law for us? Will we really even need that? Gosh, even like truck drivers, automated vehicles 10 years from now, is there going to be a single truck driver in America? There's a whole lot of data entry business analysts. I'm not talking either just entry level jobs. I'm not talking just like a pizza delivery driver because there's going to be an automated pizza delivery car like you see on those, what are the Papa John's commercials? Any career path, artist, like you're a graphic designer. Are we going to need graphic designers 10 years from now? Or is AI just going to be able to generate logos and things and graphics for us automatically, and we don't need a graphic designer? So again, there's so much uncertainty over the next 10 years of life. So all I can say is if you're someone who is aware and concerned about that, like the future, maybe as much as I am, I'm optimistic. I don't want you guys to have the wrong idea that I'm not optimistic. I'm an optimist. Like I'm not a big doomsday type of guy. Like I have faith in humanity that, the future for our children, there is going to be hope and goodness and brightness. I pray every day that there will be at least, but I'm hopeful and have faith in that. But at the same time, I just can't rely on someone else to provide for me and my family. I just can't. And that was a mindset shift that I really started about 5 years ago is, graduating from college, getting my first full-time job, realizing that everything that I spent 5 years really, actually, because it took me 5 years, everything that I really spent studying in college, 90% of it didn't really matter. 90% of the like X's and O's that I learned in college, zero usefulness in my career, in my corporate career for the 5 years that I did my corporate job. So that's where I was like, oh, whoa, we are living in a very different world than I thought we were as a kid. Like as a kid, you always thought like, you go to college, you get a big job, you do that whole thing for 40 years, you retire. But then the older I got, the more I, experienced real life the way it is instead of just like floating through life on the back of my parents, I started to see like, ooh, this is very different than what I really thought it was supposed to be like. Again, as far as like the go to school, get a job, do that whole thing, retire, then you get to enjoy your life and do what you want. But I'm like, this makes no sense to me. Why on earth would I spend half of my waking hours sitting at some job somewhere that I don't really enjoy, is not fun, is not fulfilling, is not exciting to me in any way? I'm only doing it because it pays well and it's allowing me to have a nice house, save up for retirement, get maybe 2 weeks of vacation, and then when I'm 60, I get to retire, and that's when I get to enjoy life, live life on your terms. When I'm 60, I'm like, gosh, when I look at 60-year-olds, and there's some, in shape 60-year-olds, but like, I don't want to wait till I'm 60 to do stuff that I want to do. I don't want to be 60 before I can like go boating whenever I want during the week, or like go play in the front yard with my kid on a random day. I don't want to be 60. I'm going to be old and frail. I mean, not going to be frail. Don't worry. I'm going to stay in shape. But like, you know what I'm saying? 60, very different than 20, 30, 40 physically, right? I'm an outdoor person. I'm an active person. I like mountain biking. I like, I'm a boater now, so I have to adopt this. I like boating, I like mountain biking, I like snow skiing. I like playing with my kids. I jump around, we tackle, we bounce house. I like sports. I play football, basketball, pickup ball. I go to the gym. All those activities that I really love to do. I understand that a time will come where I'm not going to be able to do those to their fullest. And that time, honestly, is probably like around 50, 60, where I'm going to start going, a little more downhill physically, where I'm not going to be hauling up and down a basketball court or maybe bombing it down a mountain biking trail. I can still do those things, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be the same. So it's terrifying to me to think that I'm going to waste 40 years of my life not being able to do those things to the full potential. I'm going to have to rely on maybe 2 weeks of vacation, asking for time off to be able to do those things in my prime years of life. And that terrified me. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I will not do that. I won't settle for that life. And so I, started down the path of entrepreneurship. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, but I really started down that path of like, I'm going to make this happen for myself. I'm not going to rely on someone else to write my paycheck. I'm not going to rely on someone else to pay my bills, because at the end of the day, if you work for another person, you are not paying your bills. They are. And I'm not using this episode. I'm trying to be careful, because I'm not using this episode to demean you if you have a full-time job. By no means. By no means. Most people should have a full-time job. Most people should. Please take care of yourself, take care of your family, do what you got to do. And I'm also not saying you can't be happy in your full-time job. You can. In fact, I'm stoked for people who find a full-time job that is fun and fulfilling for them, that they love and they enjoy their life. That is the goal. To be happy. So if you find that full-time job that makes you happy, by all means do that. Do it on the time frame that you're asked to do it on. Enjoy your life, off your work hours, however that is for you, and do that. But for the people who are not fulfilled, who are not excited to go to work, who are dreading Mondays, who know deep down that, they weren't meant to work for someone else in the way that I just truly felt that way. I'm not meant to work for someone else. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's just not me. It's not my personality. And if that's you, you got to do something about it. And you got to start right now. The time to start was yesterday, honestly. But you've been dilly-dallying, you've been doubting, you've been researching. That's my favorite word when I talk to people, like, I'm still researching business ideas. I'm like, you've been researching for 5 years, man. Like, at some point you just got to do crap. Just try it. You'll likely will fail on your first one, but you'll learn. You'll learn a lot more trying and failing than you will researching. Like, I hear people like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about starting this business. I'm just researching it right now. I'm like, okay, that's great. Like, you can learn a whole lot about a business watching YouTube videos and whatever. Like, oh yeah, I know all about the business model. I'm like, okay, but you ain't doing it. I'll tell you what, guys, it's a whole nother ballgame when you actually do it. I listen to podcasts sometimes of other people about marketing, about podcasting, about selling courses, right? Just to learn, because I also want to learn and educate myself. And it's funny because I'll listen to these podcasts from people who are super successful, way more successful than me in the, online course coaching space. And they make it sound so easy. I mean, I understand that it's complex and there's a lot of moving parts and things you got to do and implement and, Facebook ads and execute, but you can go watch a video and it's like, oh yeah, you just do this and you do your Facebook ad and you create the creative and you make sure you target and you just do it and it crushes it and you make $1 million. And so yeah, it's easy to learn how to do it. But when you actually do it, you're like, holy crap, this is hard. This is a lot more difficult than they make it sound like, or that, you think it's going to be. You think like, oh yeah, I'm just going to start my business and make $1 million the first try and it's going to be so rainbows and butterflies. Guys, I've been doing this stuff for like 8 years now and I still struggle every single day of like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, or there's got to be a better way to do this, or testing something that fails, test and fail. Luckily, I'm to this point now where I've failed enough times that I do know what does work. But it took a whole lot of failures to get to that point. And then I still fail. So I've gotten to that income level where like, okay, I can earn a 6-figure plus salary, right? For my businesses. But that doesn't mean that like I'm bulletproof. That doesn't mean that I don't fail. I still fail all the time. I waste tons of money on failed ads, failed funnels, failed courses, failed products, failed content, failed videos, stuff that I post that flops. And it's just a grind, right? It's just get back up and try again. Get back up, try again. But there is something special about doing that for yourself versus driving to a job you hate, sitting there, twiddling your thumbs, just praying that 5 o'clock shows up so you can go home, eat dinner, go to bed, and do the same thing again 5 days a week for the next 40 years. Again, this is just me personally. I'm not hating on those of you that love your jobs, but I would so much rather wake up every single day knowing that everything is in my control. I get to control how hard I work. I get to control if I want to get back up or not. I get to control my potential. I don't get to control who buys my stuff. I don't get to control who buys my bandanas. I don't get to control who buys my coaching programs. That is not in my control per se. But what I do get to control is, am I going to work on my website today? What am I going to test in this ad? What am I going to do for my podcast episode? What type of content am I going to post? So I can control my output, right? What I'm doing to work on my business, to try to execute, and then check the results and make adjustments and try again the next day. Try something different and continue to build. And that's the beauty of building your own business, your own brand. And again, I'm not really just talking just about Amazon in this episode. This is kind of one of those, just business in general, guys. I don't care if you want to start a YouTube channel or, gosh, I don't know, a restaurant, whatever it is, an Amazon business, e-commerce, coaching, courses, be a podcast, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever business it is that you want to start, but you want to do it and you want to take control of your own terms and everything, please just try. Just give it a try. Just give it a shot. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work. Worst case scenario, you fail. It doesn't work. You make no money. Failed. That's the worst case scenario. Maybe it took some money to start it. Like maybe it's a business where you spent $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 to start it. And it fails. Okay, you lost $10,000. Now, if you have a full-time job and you're making $60, $70, $100,000 a year, what's 10 grand from 1 year of your life? It's really not that much in the grand scheme of things. But if it works, if it does work, and in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, today, because you're going to start today, you've now created a profitable business for yourself, whatever this business is, and you can make a significant enough income to quit your full-time job, your life has changed forever. I promise you that. I promise you that. Again, I have come from the other side. I did the corporate work for 5 years. Granted, it was a lot softer corporate work than most people. It was not like your standard, I drive to the office 40 hours a week, sit there. I did a lot of working remote and that kind of thing, but still it's like I was tied to that. I was tied to my boss. I was tied to my coworkers. I was tied to my phone. I was tied to my email, having to answer to these other people. And if I didn't get my paycheck. Someone was upset at me. I wasn't going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Versus, doing your own thing. It's still similar in the sense that, yeah, if you don't show up, if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get paid. Like your business isn't going to be successful, but it's so much different knowing like, I am in control of me. I am writing my paychecks essentially based on my motivation, my work, my drive, not someone else telling me do this. And I don't want to do that. You got to do what you want to do. You want to start a cookie company? Do it. Be fulfilled in that. You want to start your own gym? Go start your own gym. You want to do your own online courses of sewing? Do your own online courses of sewing. But whatever it is that you do find what is fulfilling for you. And you're going to be so much happier in the pursuit, right? Of reaching your financial goals. I think that's what everyone is really striving for deep down. I think what we're all really striving for deep down is peace, happiness, fulfillment, and financial security. In my position, I'm married. I have 2 kids now. That's really what it comes down to. My number one concern is the happiness and financial security of my family. Number one, above my own, I don't want to say well-being, but above my own happiness is the happiness, well-being, and financial security of my family. And I know that it's the same for a lot of you. And that's why you're in a job you hate, because you hate it, but it pays really well. So it crosses that box off of financial security for your family. But then the other box of is your family as happy as they could be? Because you might tell yourself, and a lot of people I think fall under this trap of, oh, I have this really nice 9-to-5 job. I hate it, but I get paid 250 grand a year. So, we can have a nice house. We have a boat. We have all these nice things. So my family is happy, but you got to work 80 hours a week and you travel 3 weekends out of the year. Is your family actually happy? Or would your family be a lot happier if you made 150 grand? Maybe you made less because you're your own boss and I don't know, you're doing something you love and it doesn't pay as well as being an attorney, but you're home every day. You get to go to your kid's 1-year-old doctor's appointment. You get to go outside and play on the bounce house at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You get to take the kids to the mall. You get to go to the water park. You get to go to the lake on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Tuesday. You are in complete control of your schedule. Do you think your family would be happier with that version of you? It's just my opinion, but I personally believe my family, my wife and my 2 kids, my 2 boys, value my time 10 times more than they value my money. And I would be willing to bet the same for you. This goes for men and women, right? I'm not just talking to guys here. men and women, especially when your kids are young. I saw a video that hit me like a ton of bricks. Don't even remember who posted it, and it was weeks ago. But it was talking about this concept of up until your kids are about maybe 14, 15, they don't care at all how much money you make, but they care everything about how much time you give them. That's 14 years. And how long are your kids actually with you? They're with you about 18, right? And then hopefully they're getting out of the house and moving on with their life. 14 years, they don't care at all about the money that you make. All they care about is how much time are they getting with their dad or their mom. So stop telling yourself that you have to keep this job or whatever to make your great salary because, that's what's buying the fancy toys for your family because that's what makes them happy. Your little kids, they don't care. Your 5-year-olds, they don't care. They just want time with you. They just want you to be there. And so that's, again, kind of where my whole focus of making my family happy by being able to be there for them whenever they need me and being able to provide their financial security for them. So if you can do the best of both worlds, right? And my advice to so many people that I talk to is start that side hustle now. I'm not suggesting it by any means that you go quit your full-time job and try to be a full-time entrepreneur from day one because you're going to fail. And I'm just being real. I'm just being real so that you understand, most people fail. Most people fail the first time, and it's going to take time. It's going to take time to make income. If you're starting an Amazon brand, it's going to take time. It's going to take a year and a half, maybe 2 years before you start making some good money. So keep your full-time job, grind it out, do what you got to do, but start that business. Start that business now, whatever it is, please. I'm just encouraging you to give it a try because you can build, right? Build, learn, fail, learn, find the one that works. And then again, change your life, work to build to change your life. And if it means you keep your full-time job and your wife gets to quit her job, great. Your kids are going to be so much happier that mom's home every day. If it means you both get to quit your jobs, great. Your kids are going to be so much happier that you're both home every day. Then again, if you're able to pay the bills, you can provide the financial security for your family. And now, in my opinion, you're checking off, to me, the most important boxes as far as providing for the financial security of your family and, ensuring the happiness of your family and yourself ultimately at that point, right? So the time to start your business was yesterday. The next best time is right now. So I'm not here, again, I'm not in this episode here to try to say, buy my course, buy my program. I'm here just to say, please just start. If you're listening to this episode, if you're listening to this podcast, I know that you have interest in entrepreneurship in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. You'd probably be watching Netflix or doing something else, which again is not bad, but you're here for a reason. It's time to act on it and do something about it. Gosh, I'm so glad that 8 years ago, really, honestly, I started doing this crap. I started the entrepreneurship game. I failed on so many businesses that made me no money, but man, am I glad that I stuck with it and I kept trying and I did it because now I'm here. I'm here in my room recording a podcast episode for you guys. I've been downstairs playing with my kids. I went to my kids' doctor's appointment this morning. I went outside and played baseball with Ryan at 11 a.m. I ate lunch at home. I literally every single day of my life is this. I don't need a nicer car. I drive used cars. I have a 2002 boat. My boat's from 2002. I have a nice home, but we're set. I got 2 million flyer miles so we can go on whatever vacations we want thank you, Amazon business, but we're set. So I just try to remember man, I'm so blessed to be in this position I'm in right now. And it is all because 8 years ago, I started the journey and I didn't give up. And I just told myself, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen for me. I'm going to make this happen for my family, and it's going to just make my life so much better. And so, we're going to continue to work hard. We're going to continue to do what we can to improve every day. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy to be your own boss because there's no one holding your hand, telling you got to do your homework. You're in charge of every aspect of your life. And if you don't do it, again, you're not going to get paid. So it's tough. It is tough. And it can be lonely at times, the entrepreneur game, but I wouldn't trade it, man. I would not trade it for anything. So if you have the itch, if you have the inkling, my encouragement for you again today is just to give it a shot. Give it a go. You'll be shocked what you can accomplish in just 5 short years and how much your life can change. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. Got more episodes on the way. Man, it's crazy to think we're creeping up there on 300 episodes. We're over 700 reviews. This is outstanding. I love you guys for the support and the kindness that you've been showing me on the podcast and on my social media and everything. So I'm here to help you guys as long as I possibly can. And I just want to see you guys. I just really want to see you guys be successful. That really brings me so much joy. Getting messages from you guys, seeing that I was able to make make a difference in your life, it means a lot to me. It really does give me the warm fuzzies. So it's another huge reason why I do this, why I do the whole coaching thing and the content thing is I feel fulfilled that I'm helping people change their lives. It makes me feel like I'm making a difference in the world and not just, trying to make an extra buck. So thank you guys for the kind messages and the support. We got more stuff on the way. Once again, you're listening to Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. We'll see you in the next episode.